2.5 years ago, I threw logic out the window. I had achieved the level of success that I had been striving for over the past 5 years, but something felt off. I knew I was making an impact, I was making great money, but the energy required to achieve this level of success simply didn't feel sustainable. My soul craved a different lifestyle. I made myself wrong for wanting a life that was chill, one where I could wake up and genuinely tap into what my body needed today. I wanted to trust that my body knew what was best, rather than buying into hustle culture. So I decided to do something extreme. I started trusting my intuition. I started small by walking the neighborhood and listening for when to take a turn or not. I was following every little urge that my intuition told me and seeing how listening to it or not turned out. Pretty amazing how the smallest intuitive hit can help you avoid the unnecessary. Over time, you learn that your intuitive hunches have foresight that our minds simply cannot comprehend. I stopped working like a man. The reality is that females have a 28-day cycle, and energy levels vary greatly throughout the month. I started goal setting around my 28-day female cycle, and I planned 1 month at a time at the beginning of my cycle, and would reflect upon that month and the lessons learned prior to moving on to the next month and doing it all over again. This helped me set smaller goals that were achievable within a smaller window of time. It reduced overwhelm and helped me feel more accomplished without stress of biting off more than I could chew. My intuition loved this. The "you should rest" moments became more predictable and less conflicting with achieving my goals. I was operating in alignment with my body, not against it. I stopped doing things I hated. At this stage, my intuition was getting louder, almost to a screaming level. It would take everything in me to push past things that I hated, so I finally began to delegate. I started with email. I analyzed patterns of incoming emails and wrote templated replies. Then I hired an assistant via my tasker who began to clear out my inbox for me. I also designed my business to avoid me needing to be in my inbox at all by moving client communication to Voxer. I also got rid of my Facebook group for my online course, which I hated going on. I literally never went on Facebook outside of that, and it was giving me anxiety because there'd be times where I would forget about it. I also analyzed my marketing initiatives and eliminated Instagram, as that was taking up tons of time and not really converting that much. That felt amazing. I allowed myself to be flaky. I did my best to avoid commitments and keep my schedule as last minute as possible to avoid having to override my intuition to please someone else. This is definitely easier in social settings than in business, so I started in that department. Pro tip, the more that you can plan your social events during ovulation, the more it will align with your natural energy, because that's when you're most social. Outside of that, I communicated to friends that last minute and spontaneous invitations were best for me. Surprisingly, a lot of my friends felt the same. It gave them the opportunity to prioritize their own well-being as well. I felt crazy and out of control. After years of living in the masculine world of setting milestone goals to achieve big dreams, my mind simply couldn't comprehend how this messy way of being could lead to success. I was mentally anxious as my external world began to crumble. I felt lazy because my intuition was telling me to rest a lot more than I was used to. My income was plummeting as I declined invitations that were not aligned. I questioned if I was any better off and debated returning to my old ways of being, but I stayed the course. And you should too. After all, no transformation is complete without a dark night of the soul. My dreams became reality. We have dreams throughout our lifetime. Dreams like getting married, owning a house, having kids, making a global impact, traveling the world. Enter your dream here. Because these dreams are often lifestyle focused, we tend to focus on the financial number needed to achieve these dreams. This misaligned focus is what drove me crazy. When you begin to trust, your intuition will realign with what ultimately matters, and the path to achieving your dreams will unfold in a completely unexpected way that your mind doesn't understand in the moment. Personally, things felt slow mentally, but they were unfolding so fast in retrospect. For years, my goal was to become a mom and set myself up for working only 3 days per week, and I wanted to achieve this by the age of 30. I started this experiment at 29 and was in a relationship, but not yet engaged. Well, within 5 months, I got unexpectedly pregnant, engaged, and married. At the time, getting pregnant felt like a distraction from my goal, but ironically, it was my goal. Fast forward, I now have an 18-month-old and I have continued to prioritize my intuition. Things that are misaligned are continuously dropping away, and I can either focus on what's leaving and why it's terrifying, or just observe with curiosity how things are turning out. I choose the latter. Following your intuition isn't for the faint of heart. It takes a different kind of strength to go on this journey and a willingness to let go of control in order to align with your highest, most embodied and fulfilled self. So what do you say? Are you ready to stop doubting your intuition and start trusting in the magic of it? Share your story in the comments below, as I would love to connect and hear your story. And if you want a secret map for how to connect with your intuition, as it might look different to how mine operates, go ahead and watch this video next. It explains a system called Human Design that breaks down a map for how your unique energy works. It's a total game changer. I'll see you there.